This changed everything for the Chicago Bulls with this upcoming offseason and this top draft class that we have. I got all the news and updates for you here at Bulls Digest. Hi, I am Shaq Barnes here with another episode of Bulls Digest, the number one spot for everything Chicago Bulls. And I noticed that 6-7% of you guys have been watching the channel and have not subscribed yet. Treat it like the Bulls intro and run through that subscribe button. But I'm not gonna waste your guys' time. We're gonna get right into it. Three bold NBA draft for Chicago Bulls must be prepared and willing to make with this coming off season. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I feel like this off season is a make or break year for this front office. And I think Bulls ownership need to treat it that way. We have 5 years with these guys at the helm. Nothing has been necessarily done. I'm personally, as a Bulls fan, I don't like that it's not even a question about them being on a hot seat. What is being done with this team right now. So I think this offseason is a make or break for these guys. And there's three bold moves that they can go and look at, and they got to be willing to take each of these three bold moves. Number one, don't look away from possibility trading up in this draft. Obviously, in this draft class, this is a deep draft class, one of the better draft class, definitely better than last year. You got a lot of names. Obviously, Cooper Flag, VJ Cone, Jason Richardson's son. You also got Derek Queen. It's a lot of players who are franchise type changing guys that's available. And if the Bulls have their eye on a guy, I think you should go trade up and get him if you really want the guy. If the guy shows that he fits in what you need, or you just think he's a franchise changing guy, I think you should open up the possibility of trading for him. We see what this young team can do. We want to go young with this team, and I think if VJ Edgecombe is there, or if you could trade up for Cooper Flag and your number one pick, I say go for it, depending on what the Chicago Bulls land at. But the Bulls don't win the draft odds. They probably just gonna end up landing at 12, which you still could possibly get a solid player to add to what you're doing. You probably might want to go big because obviously Vucevic is on a trade block, so we're probably gonna trade Nikola Vucevic. So I would probably look for a Nikola Vucevic trade replacement. Only thing that I didn't really agree with this one too though was like possibility of dangling Kobe White for a trade. And once again, I feel like if Kobe White is in any trade talk at this point in time, it's just saying that the Chicago Bulls don't want to pay him next year. But if you go get rid of a guy like Kobe White, who's looking like he's going to be an all-star caliber player next year, you better be going up to get somebody like a Cooper Flag, because unless the fan base is not going to be happy, and we're going to feel like we just lost the guy for nothing. Next up on the list, and I just talked about this a second ago, trade for a high risk big man. And big man prospect, you got Thomas Sober, you got Carter Bryant, uh Asa Newell, who's obviously probably be like later around that round. But obviously we're talking about Derek Queen, the guy from Maryland, who looked outstanding in the March Madness tournament, and I think would kind of fit the mold of what we had with Vooch. I'm not saying he could be as good as Vooch. He could possibly be better. But you need that versatile type of big. We don't need that big that can just block shots and dunk, or who can't shoot. I believe it's not going to fit the style of play that the Chicago Bulls is running. They like to run up and down the floor. Everybody needs to be able to shoot, especially in today's era of basketball. It would benefit the team even more. And I also think that Derek Queen guy is looking like a nice fit for the Chicago Bulls. But when you trade the high risk prospect, I would probably try to call teams for Vooch. If I know I'm going, say we're talking about trading up, I may add Vooch in a trade to go up from like 12 to maybe like 8 to go get like a Derek Queen. You know what I'm saying? That at least you're trading your replacement. Now, if you go about it with like the Kobe White situation, no, I feel we all can say this as fans of the team. Like, no, if you go trade our supposed to be star, now you got to at least give us a guy who has the potential to be a star. I wouldn't be satisfied unless we got number one, but 9 times out of 10, whoever gets the number one pick is not trading down for Cooper Flag 9 times out of 10. Then don't look away from trading out the first round. Now, hear me when I say this. When I say don't look away from trading out the first round, is because if the player's not there that you want, right, then trade out. We got a lot of players who possibly might be available in the future, like a Giannis Antetokounmpo, Nikola Jokic. And I know it's always a dream. I don't want us to fall into like the New York Knicks and Lakers aspect where we think we gonna get any and everybody that's available at free agent. I don't want to see memes of every future superstar in the Bulls jersey. I don't want us to go through that. I truly don't want us to go through that at all. But if you're not impressed or you can't get the player that you want by trading up, or the player that you want is not there at 12, make calls around to see what you could get for that 12th pick. You got Zion, Trae Young, or maybe even a Ja Morant that could be there available at that point in time. I don't know if giving up the 12 for Zion is like ideal for me because of the health issues. I think Zion fits perfectly with this team. Maybe Vooch, and we could do a protected first, baby. And protected first, I'm saying like top 15 protected. So if that's the case, but that's the only way I do it for them. Then you got like Ja. Then that makes sense if you try to trade like a Kobe White because you got a Ja Morant or a Trae Young, because then he won't really fit the mold of what they got going on with the team or with the unit. But I say trade up and get more assets, because you look at the teams who are successful now in the league, they traded, got a lot of assets, then cashed those assets in and made a better team. So that's the only thing I would say that the Bulls should possibly do. If you trade out the first round, I want to look like the OKC Thunder when it comes to assets at a point in time. And then we just gonna rock out with the young core, hope somebody develop, and then once we see that person develop, cash in on our assets. But then when we look at Josh Giddey, who gave us 14 points, eight rebounds, 7 assists, shoot 46% for the field, 37% for three. It seems like the Bulls are cashing all in on Josh Giddey to be the star player of the team. And then if you want to build with Josh Giddey to be the star player of your team, then you got to get shooters. You got to get people who fit the mold around Josh Giddey and up and down pace. So I would love to see the Bulls either go for a young athletic player or a skilled big that can actually fit in with this system. I love the fact of Kobe White, Josh Giddey, Matas Buzelis. I love how those three guys play together. So I would love to see the Chicago Bulls capitalize on getting a player that fits the mold with this team. I want to keep this core together, but if you're going to make a move, it has to make sense. That's all I really ask for. This has been Shaq Barnes, another episode of Bulls Digest, the number one spot for everything Chicago Bulls, and I will see you guys on the next one. Peace.